What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. In this box, I have my favorite budget football boot on the market, the New Balance 442. Now, this particular colorway is really, really cool. It's very classic, but I think it looks amazing. So let's hop into the unboxing of the video. Very, very standard red New Balance box here. Very standard across their entire line. No different from any of the other models as well. You got the New Balance logo there on the bottom, the long side, obviously the two New Balance logos there. Nothing on that long side, and then there you go. So you've got the little code, I guess, for it. These are a firm ground model. These are a men's US 9, which is an 8.5 UK in New Balance sizing, or a Euro 42.5. My guess is these are 27 or 26.5 centimeters. I don't actually know because they don't have them on the sizing, but it is what it is, right? So let's get these unboxed. These, of course, as you can see from the thumbnail, are the black and red and silver model, which I think look absolutely fantastic. And the leather quality of these is just awesome. Like for 150 bucks, 130 bucks, depending on, you know, where you can get these are just impossible to beat, in my opinion. I mean, if you're trying to get something that's under $200, these are near impossible to beat, in my opinion, given how lightweight they are. They're exceptionally lightweight, super comfortable, suitable for most foot shapes, and certain colorways actually come in a wide fit variation as well. These are the standard fit for those of you who are asking, which if you're in a store and you see right here, see this is a D, so the D is indicated a medium. That's the medium width. If you see a 2E version, 2E, E is in Eric, so 2E is the wide fit variation. So you can see it'll say 2E and wide, but these of course are the standard fit, which actually fit me just fine. And that's incredible from a regular standard fit model. So here's the other shoe. You don't get any string bags in here, of course, because it is a budget friendly football boot, but we'll get these unboxed. There we go. Throw that there. And then of course you have the boots like this. Very, very standard construction. So for the unboxing portion of the video, this will be a fairly short portion of the video. We'll get more into the fit and feel of it when we get these on feet, which will give you kind of a little bit more explanation of why I think these boots really are the best budget-friendly boots on the market. You've got a full K-leather forefoot area, which is crazy for a boot of this price point. And then you have everything from this line here on the lateral side and this stitch line here on the medial side. Everything to the south of that or behind you is going to be a synthetic leather. Now the synthetic leather is actually it's got the leather grain, it's got the feel of leather, it has almost the same stretch as leather, and it does provide actually quite a bit of stability through the midfoot, especially with the synthetic additions in this N logo here on the, especially on the lateral side. This medial side, it's the same, it's just sort of embossed with the silver. So there's no differences in the material here on that midfoot on the medial side. But on the lateral side, this is actually a synthetic N, which will provide a little bit of lateral stability there as well. You've got the 442 in red stitched in, and then the New Balance logo there on the heel area. The heel area is really nice. It's got an internal heel counter that goes up right about to where that stitching line is above the New Balance logoing, and it does provide a nice amount of structure while not being overly stiff or anything. One of the features of this football boot that kind of stands out is that those rear foot and heel cushion pillows, which are in red. You can see those on the inside there, and they basically provide a little bit of extra support on the heel area and give you a little bit more structure there to give you a more locked in sensation when you have socks that are either grip or non-grip, which is great. One of the features that I absolutely love about this football boot is the fact that the synthetic in the midfoot actually provides more lockdown than a lot of other of its competitors. Especially with this particular boot, it competes with things like the Nike Premier 3 and the Adidas Copa Gloro. Those are sort of the main two competitors to this football boot. Both of those are a calfskin leather. Those are all calfskin leather. This being partially synthetic and partially K-leather, I think actually follows a formula of a lot of football boots from the Mizuno line, from the Asics line. Now the Copa Pure line also is leather in the forefoot, synthetic in the midfoot. But to have a kangaroo leather still in the forefoot of a boot that's this price is pretty incredible, including the fact that they are super, super lightweight. Like they absolutely blow the competition away in their price category for weight, which is pretty cool. So if you are interested in more of like a barefoot feel on feet from a weight perspective, these are absolutely the model you're gonna want to go for. The sole plate is probably the least impressive feature of this football boot. In fact, I think it is the least impressive. It's very flimsy. I would say that it has more structure than the Copa Gloro, but I would say that it definitely is, actually, I would say this is quite a bit more structured than the Premier 3. So I guess from a sole plate perspective, okay, yeah, compared to other things on the market, right, some of the $200 or even $250, $300 boots, these are not going to hold up as far as, you know, anything that has to do, even within the New Balance line. Like the Tequila and the Furon both have way better sole plates than this, but for this price point, I think this is the best overall package. And I think in this colorway as well, if you're looking for kind of a stealthy look, you could always, you know, paint the inside of the N or the bottom of the, you know, any of this logoing. You could always do paint or Sharpie job to it to make it a total blackout. And these just look really, really nice in my opinion. So very, very class from the New Balance brand. I think this is a great product. I think when they came out with the gold special edition colorway that's all leather, those were absolutely sensational for the price point. And obviously now they're much more expensive and you have to pay way over retail for them. But from a just normal launch colorway, and they now have, I believe, what is it called? Like a team sky blue and maybe like a peach or rose colorway. That's like an all peach, basically an all orange peach color, and then it has the accent marks in the team sky blue. I think those look pretty decent. I'm just a fan of the classic black, and then now they have the classic all white ones with the red accents as well. So regardless of whether you're into whiteout boots or blackout boots, you kind of have your pick, which is awesome. Great product, would highly recommend it. If you're on the market for sort of a more classic budget-friendly boot, this is the one you buy. Don't buy the Premier 3. It's going synthetic eventually, and they're calfskin now, and they're just not as great feeling on feet. Don't have really the shape for them. Although iconic looking, not really my thing. These, on the other hand, blow the Copa Gloro. Like, it's a joke to compare these and the Copa Gloro, because the Copa Gloro is so thick. It's so meaty. It's very, like, it's kind of clunky in my opinion, has not that great lockdown. This has everything you want in a top end boot, but at $130 price point, which is pretty crazy. So for me, this is absolutely the category winner. It is absolutely the one that I go and play in every once in a while because I enjoy it. I think it absolutely is on par with some of the, you know, some of the decent ones. Like I'd even wear this over a Copa Pure 2, and those are almost double as expensive. So if that puts in perspective how good I think these are, you can, you know, take my word for it, go try them on, see how you think. So I will get these out on feet. Let's see how the sizing is like, see what the fit and feel is like, and of course, whether you should pull the trigger on a boot of this caliber. Let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here in the backyard with the New Balance 442. This is my favorite of all the competition in that kind of sub 150 range for price point. These are in my normal size 9 US, and let's get these on feet. So there you go. I think they look really nice in the black colorway with the red and silver accents. Really classic, really nice looking. I think I mentioned this in the unboxing portion of the video as well, but if you wanted to black these out, these would actually be like the perfect boot for that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, that's why they are my favorite boot of the segment. They fit perfectly, 9 US, and the fit and the feel. And keep in mind, these are the standard width variation. New Balance tends to have a slightly wider silo for all three of their models. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're a wider foot player, you might want to check out what New Balance has to offer, because these are not the wide fit version, and they fit me straight out of the box, which is super, super nice. I am going to get in break-in a little bit of hot spot here where the N is, because that's synthetic. That's not going to stretch. So it does have a little bit of structure to the lateral part of the midfoot. But from a sizing perspective and a shape perspective, these feel so good. And as you can see, I can wiggle my toes really nicely there, and they feel awesome. So that's why New Balance 442 will always be part of the conversation as far as the best budget football boots, because these really are, in my opinion, the best bang for your buck you can buy.
unless you're going to step into, you know, the $200 price point, in which case I'd say, you know, step into a Mizuno Elite model, and then that's going to give you like the most quality with the least amount of money, because then your next price point is like $250 or $275, and then you're talking, you know, top end Mizuno boots, and you're talking some of the best of the best. So, but from a sub $150 price point, these are really, really awesome. I love the way these fit and feel. As you can see, they also add a runner's knot right there, or the you know, hole cut for the runner's knot, which is awesome. I do have a little gap right there, just not a ton, so it's not going to be, you know, a big deal. Once I start to break these in though, I will start to use the capability with the runner's knot, which will just give me that extra little bit of lock-in around the ankle area. But overall, as you can see, they fit my foot almost perfectly straight out of the box. The one thing that I do think, my one complaint about the boot, although they are really comfortable and I do think they lock your foot in really well, the heel pads, they advertise those heel pads, and in this video you can rewind to where I showed you guys the red heel pads in that heel area. There's like one on either side, and then I think you have one in the middle as well on the inside of those heel area. Those are not as padded as I think they're advertised to be, and although they do lock your ankle in, or they lock my ankle in, I would say that for some people, they're probably going to be a little lackluster, and or you might find them to be, you know, potentially hotspot areas. So I would say if New Balance could make those a little bit more, not more dense, but more plush and a little bit higher volume, that might actually add to the experience of the heel. But overall, there's a look at what they look like on feet. The lighting is all over the place, so apologies there, but they look really nice. I mean, again, classic leather football boots, really, really comfortable straight out of the box. It's remarkable how they managed to get K-leather forefoot, nice synthetic midfoot, you know, a good underfoot feel, and for like $130 US, which is pretty crazy. So sole plate as well, that's one thing that is probably a little bit lackluster, although I will say this feels more responsive in my play testing of previous colorways of this one and previous colorways of the Premier 3 from Nike. This is definitely a little bit more responsive from the sole plate action. The only downside of a sole plate like this that really lacks any sort of like internal structure frame or anything like that is what I found is, because it's a plastic material, what happens over time, especially when you wear it on super hot days on AG surfaces, which by the way, these are totally suitable for, when you wear them on those AG pitches and it's really, really hot outside, over time, it feels like the sole plate loses a bit of rigidity. And so whether that's because the plastic's getting heated up or whatever, and then flexed a bunch as you're playing, I don't know what the actual science behind it is, but that's what it feels like to me. So as you're playing with it over time, the sole plate just gets a little bit more floppy, I guess, if you could say. It's not to the point where it's, how would you say? It's not to the point where it's like not playable. Like you can still play in them and you can still do really, really nice things. But it just gets a little bit less responsive. So touch on the ball for the 442 is lovely. I do think that these provide absolutely the most barefoot feeling out of all of the budget-friendly options on the market, especially in the leather, or now as the Premier is going non-leather, you know, in that kind of budget-friendly pseudo leather category. The fact that these still have leather, as I said before, they feel pretty thin on feet. The tongue area here is very, very thin. As you can see, it's like paper thin, maybe like a couple sheets of paper thick. So you've got a really nice seamless surface right there for first touch, plus obviously the sort of nice and plush feeling of this K-leather forefoot, which is super soft and already starting to get a little bit softer as I start to move around in them. Only downside of this particular colorway is if you play on AG surfaces in this particular colorway, they're going to be really, really warm. So just keep that in mind. They are going to be, you know, a black boot on AG surfaces, especially when it's really warm outside like it is today.
probably a no-go, but on FG you'll be just fine. And these actually do provide a decent amount of traction on FG as well. They'll be totally suitable if you want to buy this for both that FG and AG playing surface. So I think that's going to be it for the video for today, guys. I know I've reviewed a couple different colorways of these, so this might be a broken record, but I love the New Balance 442. I think it's a fantastic model. Objectively, does it stack up with, you know, the rest of the competition in all of the price ranges? Yes, actually, which is kind of crazy. Like, I'm still taking this over Copa Pure, and Copa Pure is almost double as expensive, or maybe it's like 1.5 times as expensive as these ones are. So I'm gonna wear these over the Copa Pure any day. Copa Gloro, I'm taking these every day. Over Premier 3, I'm taking these every day. And then, okay, once you get into Asics and Mizuno models, I'll probably pick those just because they add that little bit of performance and quality benefit. But overall, I think New Balance 442 is absolutely the way to go if you're not wanting to spend over $150 to $200 on a pair of football boots. So like the video if you got value from it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can go down in the description box below for 20% off of WeFoot grip socks, which I have on now in the thin version, and then you can get the thick or the shorter model as well. They've got like ankle cut socks and they're all grips, so you can use them for running or working out or whatever. Absolutely fantastic. I love them. That's a company that I actually reached out to for a partnership, and they were kind enough to get you guys 20% off for your order. So, and you guys can help support the channel, which is awesome. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see y'all in the next video.